I'd be like, all right, boys, get on out of here. Got to clean these bathrooms.
Wouldn't even see the field. Wouldn't even see the field.
You remember when he said that?
Hell yeah.
Why do you say it? I'm like, where you get all this money from, Jerry? Like, where you get this bread from, bro? My daddy had it for me. Welcome back to another episode of the Living Water Chronicles podcast, man. I'm your host, Tack.
And this is J-A-Y.
Man, and tonight, it's just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us. Just the two of us. Building castles in the sky, just the two of us. You and I. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
You remember that?
I like that.
Austin Powers, when all the guards was dancing with their guns and shit.
Yeah,
he was like,
they was getting in.
Yeah, man. What's been up with you?
Man, it has been a long week, brother.
Yes.
But we here. So
yes.
I'm breathing and I'm healthy, I think, for the most part.
You on here, you look lively. So, virtually, we that's the other thing I've been meaning to say on most of these episodes is, guys, these episodes have been the stay your ass at home edition. So, we've been trying to be safer and abide by COVID-19 guidelines and stuff like that. So even though we're both clear, we just taking extra precautions because COVID. So
yeah, man.
I don't know.
But we getting it in anyway. So hey, we here for it. But man, enough about me. What about you? How was your week?
Oh man,
that previous weekend, whatnot.
It was long as hell too, because it was just we geared up. We down to like 2 weeks to the wedding and everything. So I'm ready for it, but it's just been like very challenging. Getting catering and getting all the different people together and stuff like that. And it is what it is, man. You just take it in stride day at a time. Every answer is a wrong answer until it's the right answer. And then you go to sleep and you wake up and you do it all over again.
Word. 2 weeks, man. Yes. 2 weeks. We're going to have some conversation about that.
Oh, yeah. I'm open to whatever you've got.
Yeah, man. Well, man. Let's get into it.
I'm ready.
So I know it's been a minute since we've done a solo dolo show. So we're gonna have more of these regularly. So we're gonna talk about whatever was going on. And also if our listeners, followers, whatnot, if you have any suggestions or ideas of what you would like for us to talk about on the show, please reach out to us.
Yes,
we're more than open. We would love to hear any type of feedback. How we're doing, because each episode we want to become better. So your feedback, all of that, or your suggestions, let us have it. So I thought I would like to share that. We want you all to know that. And again, we shout out to all of you if you're listening to this episode. We really appreciate that. So let's get into the docket, man. So
let's end it. Let's end it. What you got? Throw it at me.
Well, man, I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. Pretty much what all the national media headlines has been talking about within the last, 24, 48 hours. Yeah. Miss Breonna Taylor, man.
Yeah. Very unfortunate.
Unfortunate, man. So unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you've probably heard the verdict of what, the outcome of, I don't even think he even made it to a trial. I don't even think it.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I haven't read that much. I had gotten to a point with like the whole police brutality and black people thing. I had to take, like, every time it would come up on the book or Instagram, I would just kind of just move past it because it gotten to where I was getting desensitized on it, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. It was just really damaging to my to my mental, even though it's what's happening to us mostly. I just had to take a step back from it for a while because it got to where it was every day. I mean, it still is. Like, it's not changing. You know, I know it can happen to any one of us at any point in time. Any one of us black people, mostly. White people usually don't have this problem. Now, they do show some white folks from time to time that do have police brutality issues, but it's usually a lot different and people usually come home alive. So,
right. Facts. Yeah, man. You know, just take care of yourself, man. Just, you know, all of you that's listening, you know, just take care of yourself because 2020 has been a hell of a year. And you're talking about from a
and it's like the rings of Saturn, bro. They're just getting faster and faster, and it's just like, let's see who else we can kill. Like,
man, you know, I saw something the other day online, and it was so true because it said 2020 is what everybody wanted 2012 to be. You know, you remember when 2012 came, you know, the Mayan calendar, that was supposed to be when the world ended or the world was going to change. Well, you know, to my recollection, shit didn't happen in 2012. You know, that was a pretty relatively normal year. So fast forward to 2020, it's like everything that they thought or may happen in 2012 is happening here in 2020. So I thought that was an interesting, you know, little meme I saw. But yeah, man, back to Breonna Taylor. It's you know, it's discouraging. You know,
very much so.
Yeah, it's like deep down, I knew the outcome. I knew what it was going to be. I even made a post online on my personal Facebook page, basically saying, you know, I'm not surprised. You know, hopefully, no one else was, because this is what it's been about. You know, it's not built for us to win. It's something much deeper than, you know, than the surface and whatnot. So it's not. It's not built to win. So why would it change this time around? And then when you have the whole, you have the whole city just basically telling you, oh, we're declaring the state of emergency. Like, why are you doing that? And the announcement hasn't been made yet. So the writing was on the wall, bro. It was truly on the wall, and it's just unfortunate that what the charges was. Something I've never heard of, and if I'm mispronouncing this, please correct me, please. Wanton endangerment. That is what the cop who fired the shots into the apartment and shot Miss Breonna Taylor, that's what he was charged with.
One-time endangerment?
Wanton endangerment. If that don't sound like some Jada Pinkett entanglement shit, I don't know what it is.
It sound like. And even basically what they saying is he's getting charged with endangering all the other families around her, not her murder. And so basically he's getting charged with all of the bullets that missed. Yes. That's what somebody posted. They like, they're charging him for every bullet that didn't hit her. And so my thing is, what was that about? I wonder, like, was it that she was really connected to something that was bigger? Or was it just a random, we about to kill something? It just didn't make any sense. Like, you kill this innocent girl and she's asleep. And you run up in the house. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's one of those things that leaves you speechless, because, and then it actually is one of the things that would implement more fear into your heart to live in America and be black. But it's already been dangerous for many years. It's just, we weren't really experiencing it like that, because sometimes we move the best way we can and not get caught up. You know, every time you get pulled over, it's an opportunity. It might be your last. Now more than ever, because now when I get pulled over, I'm actually kind of just like prepared. Like, if that's gonna be my last time, then I'm gonna go out calm, because I don't want to go to the next realm stressed.
Right.
So, and it's sad that we're even thinking that way, but that's just our reality as black men, as black people. But black men, I would say more than anything, because they have to probably want to kill us, because like we're the kings. So
absolutely,
it's just sad and unfortunate and senseless.
Yeah, it really is, man. And you know, it's just amazing to me the people that you see justifying it, like, oh well, you know, she was connected with her drug dealer boyfriend or ex boyfriend. He fired first. She wasn't asleep. She was standing there. It's just like, you know, I know drug dealers. You know what I mean? Like, so you need to tell me because I know a drug dealer, I deserve to get shot. You know, granted, yeah, I know he opened fire, but it's too many it's too many conflicting stories as far as, like, you know, the no knock warrant, because at first they said they didn't announce themselves and they just bust in their door, and you know, the boyfriend just, you know, started firing shots because, you know, he thought, because apparently the police didn't announce themselves. Now apparently the police report is out. Now they're refuting, saying they announced who they actually knocked or announced who they were prior to coming in, and you know, the guy decided to shoot him anyway. And Breonna Taylor wasn't actually asleep, and it was just like, man, at the end of the day, man, this lady got killed. You know,
Right.
so
Everybody's trying to justify death, and
yeah,
and I'm like, it ain't no
why?
justification for it because you are another human trying to place a value on another human. Who the hell are you to be
Right.
like, oh yeah, this person should die because blah blah blah. Now I personally kind of believe an eye for an eye mentality, but I see that more so probably comes on the next level. Like, you know, whatever you do here is pretty much what you creating for the next level. So if you spent your entire life pillaging on black people and killing folks and getting away with it, what can you possibly expect at the end of this?
Right.
Like, you think you're gonna be good? You think you're gonna be straight? Um, they coming for you. And the thing is, like, people be like, why Zimmerman ain't dead and all this type of shit. I'm just like, man, that man ain't living in peace. Like, he running around. That's why he's acting an ass and acting a fool. Talking about, yes, you know, he was trying to sell the gun that killed Trayvon
yeah,
Martin, and that was a big thing. And then he did something with some Skittles or something like that. It was ignorant. And I'm just
right.
like, you just doing that because you want to be relevant, and and it's like, my thing is, if you are satisfied or you get something from other people's sorrow, you are a very sad individual. Like, you have nothing to live for. Because
Definitely.
that is just, and then these people, like you said further back, y'all justifying the killing of this woman that was in her house.
Yeah.
And if there wasn't a warrant and there wasn't any type of reason for her to be arrested, my thing is, if you want to arrest her, go ahead and arrest her. You don't have to kill her. Just take her to jail like everybody else, and then do the due process crap, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that'll be that. But you don't have to keep killing people, bro. Like, we're not getting nowhere with this. And it's really frustrating because the protesters and stuff like that, it's like, I understand that you gotta protest, but it's like we keep going in circles with this shit. People get online and say what they want to say, or I would do this, or I would do that. And then you get a cop, you see that report of the cop being shot in Louisville, Kentucky, or something like that because of the verdict coming out. I think it was Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like that's out, and it's like, okay, so what are we doing though? It's like, where are we going with this? It's like, I mean, I understand you can't, in no way am I advocating that you're supposed to start a street war, but it's like, nobody ever really does anything about it. And then if they do something about it, we never see the light of day on it. It's just, by the time something might low key be close to being done, there's another person that's being killed. Or that's when they release it saying that they've been killed. Like, the media plays a huge role in this, perpetuating the same bullshit. It's why when I used to work at a TV station locally, that's all we reported on was just shit that was happening that was negative. And it's like, we had meetings every day about negative shit that we was putting on the news. I'm like, it's gonna be the same meeting tomorrow. Somebody else gonna die. Somebody else got shot. Somebody went to jail, and then there's puppies for sale down the street because they don't have an owner. Like, it'd be random shit that the news report on. You'd be like, oh, puppies. Okay. And then it's like, in other news, 6 black men died. On to the next. It's like,
right.
It's just a vicious cycle.
It is, man. And it's like, where do you start, man? Because it's just, you got people that just refuse to see it at this point. You know, it's just like, okay, clearly you can't, you're not in hiding anymore because now you just like pulling shit out of your ass just to make excuses for these, for these cop killings, man. And again, I'm like, I don't have like any, ill will towards, like cops because I understand you gotta do what you gotta do, but it shouldn't be, shoot to kill, comply
Not,
or
not,
die.
not first. That's
Not
supposed to
first.
be. That's supposed to be your last. Your gun is supposed to be your last resort. Because
Right.
any officer that I've ever talked to, they've all said that. They've all said the gun is the last resort. But people are doing that first because they're carrying hate and hurt from previous years and punishing people that don't even have any connection to it. It's no different than relationships that entanglements and relationships that people have with each other where they'll punish the person that they're in love with or say they're in love with now from Darnell 6 years ago. And it's like you reaping what he sowed on that girl or boy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't make any sense. There has been this spiritual thing that I've been seeing posted on most of my woke friends and stuff like that. December the 21st, all the planets are supposed to align, like all of them, even Pluto. And so I don't really know. They're saying that this is the time that Black people this is the time that Black people will regain their power back. So I've been trying to do research on it to get some leads. Google only take you so far. You got to get into the astrology books and encyclopedias and stuff like that to figure this thing out, or people that write certain books for this particular subject matter. But that's a date that we should probably put on the calendar just to kind of see what happens with it. Because if they're saying it, it's got to be something tied to it.
Right. You said this was what, December? You said 21st?
December 21st, 2020.
Interesting.
Maybe.
Because I think December 21st is when the 2012 shit was supposed to happen.
See, and then that's the other thing they said that the years were off. Like the Mayan calendar is different from our calendar. Then on top of that, our calendar is like wrong. Like our New Year is supposed to start in March or something like that. One of them, and that's probably wrong. It's probably misquoted. But January, I think it's just like an Americanized thing, or people putting their hands on still, because have you ever thought about like where time comes from? Like who thought, it's 3:00? Is it?
Yeah.
Like what time is it?
Yeah.
And God be like, it's Philadelphian 12:09.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've never like who decided it was, like you said, who decided it's going to be 3:00? Who decided to name the days, what it is? Who decided to come up with Monday, Tuesday, all of that? Like, I like to know like the explanation of that, like the background of how did the days of the week come about? Because, like you said, did somebody just wake up one day and just decide,
right,
it's 10:00, or I shall call this 10:00 on a Tuesday?
I be so gassed out on that kind of stuff now, man. It's just hard. It's hard for me to even get into it to read. It's hard for me to still watch slave movies. I haven't come out of that shell yet, where I'm ready to watch my folks be in captive. You know what I'm saying? It's like we still are. Like it's like they were like, oh yeah, this was a long time ago. It's like, nah, look outside. It's still going on. It's just in a different form.
Yeah.
Especially these people. Go ahead.
Bro, there was, no, you go ahead, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off. No,
I'm rolling with it. What you got?
I was about to say, like you said, it was happening just in a different era, just in a different view. Yesterday, on the 23rd, I don't know if you realize this, on September 23rd, yesterday was the same day that the murders of Emmett Till were acquitted in court. September 23rd of 1955.
I did not know that off top.
Crazy, right?
Extremely.
And that was the date. Yesterday is when when the cop got indicted for wanton endangerment for Breonna Taylor and was not charged for her murder. And it's crazy. So that happened on the same day. Emmett Till, again, people, September 23rd, 1955. Look it up.
And see, the only way The only way that this kind of stuff is gonna stop is if people come together. like they literally have to come together and take the powers that be on certain things, because if we don't, it's just gonna continue to be this way. And then these be the kind of things that make me wonder, like, with God and stuff, it's like, why? What are you trying to show us, that this is how it is down here and we should be looking forward to leaving? Or is it that you really are on your way, you just running late? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then my thing is, if and when entity gets here, what does that mean for those that aren't doing bad in a sense? Like, like
right.
those that have families and are trying to, do whatever. What does that mean for us? But it's kind of like, it makes you feel like you can't have, it's like you have to have those negative forces in that place like that, so it makes you appreciate the good days, or that's what makes you a good person, is by having a bad person.
Right.
So I don't know, man. It's just unfortunate because she's never gonna come back again, and like, you have to feel for that mother that her child is never gonna. You never gonna see your child again in this where you at with it. And then it's like so many Black people that have experienced that, and they've become further traumatized, which kind of keeps the pendulum swinging in that negative manner for us. And it's just frustrating because it's like America is not really a comfortable place for us to live. Further, it's hard for Black people to even talk about certain. I mean, I would say it's more challenging for us to talk about things regularly in regular settings, like namely politics. So we got the election coming up, and there's a few independent candidates. One I just learned of today, Jade Simmons.
Jade Simmons.
Yeah, Jade Simmons, Simmons. So check out her Instagram, guys. Go follow her. Check out her agenda. She actually has a Black agenda. One of the questions that Miko asked on her podcast was, "What is your Black agenda?" And she gave the filler stuff in the front half, but she actually had one. And so the fact that she actually had one, that was one of the things that made me want to vote for her. But unfortunately, with the way that the system is set up, it's so flawed that if I did vote for her, it probably would end up counting for Trump because of the Electoral College.
Right.
So I think once we get rid of the Electoral College, then things would actually be a lot more simple. But I don't think you should have it's kind of like they say George Washington said, don't have a two-party system because it'll cause turmoil and all that kind of stuff, like have elections and have many people on, on a panel for you to pick from and stuff. But it's like, even with the political stuff, man, it has people thinking that they macho. It has people thinking that they're elite, but they're actually like poor. And then they want to play rich because they're voting for one person, but then they have nothing else to talk about outside of that. And then it's, as soon as you disappear on them or cut them off or whatever, it's like, oh, what happened to us? It's like, you what happened to us?
Exactly.
So like I said, anything that comes in contact with my peace and starts messing with it, you costing me too much. You gotta go. You gotta go, or you gotta be minimized. You're minimized at this point until we have the bandwidth to deal with your ignorance, or you find a way to fix parts of yourself that need to be addressed, because I'm not putting up with that shit.
Yeah.
Flat out.
At this point in our life, man, past the bullshit.
Yeah, we too old, bro.
Yeah.
Too old. You just say, yeah. You gonna say some shit online and then think ain't nobody see it, and we all saw it.
All right.
Like every time election season come around, people gonna pull their dick out and think they ain't gonna catch something without messing, you know what I'm saying? And then they catch something and be like, I don't know why I caught this. Like, bro, you was out here. What you mean?
You out here.
You was out here doing everything, having sex with everybody. Pigs, goats, ducks, cats, chickens. You got the chicken coronavirus on your dick. Balls. I'm just saying, man, but these folks, they wild me out. But it's like, you can't really put that much energy into it, man. You just have to, it's the same thing with the police brutality. You try to stay out of the way, find ways to fight that keep you alive. But it's a dangerous game to play, but somebody's got to play it, because if you don't play the game, you will lose. So it's one of them things, man.
Yeah, and you know, and people, you know, and especially I'm talking to, you know, as Black people, do not let social media, you know, because social media is gonna rile you up. You know, especially when that verdict was announced for Breonna Taylor. Don't let those random trolls on Facebook or
Right.
you know Instagram or any Twitter or anything like that that you can see comments on, because you know those people is people out there that's just gonna say the shit because they can, because it's online. They're not gonna, you know, they're
And then
not gonna
half
read
of them
the
don't even have a real profile. Like it'd be like
right.
a blank image, or it'd be like a picture of a dog or something, and it'd
Yeah,
be like some angry keyboard thug. But then sometimes it just be people that, believe it or not, sometimes it's Black folks that's just doing stuff because they think it's funny or they don't understand. And it's like people always think shit is funny until it happens to them. Like they
yep.
think it's funny until like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like you got, okay, case in point, you got those people who, let's say California fires or something like that, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then you have somebody that will come and like that post or pick the laughing one, like they laughing at the fires and shit. Then you got other people that go back, like Jay saying, just listen to yourself. If you're not in tune with yourself, you're not really gonna be able to hear yourself speak for real, because you're allowing an American society that tells you to stay dumbed down at all times, not to talk to yourself because that makes you crazy. How? You are you. So you need to be talking. You need to be listening to what your spirit is telling you to do instead of bullshitting out here.
Yep.
I mean, God and your spirit is. I'm not gonna say they both the same thing, because for all the Bible thumpers, they'll get on me about that. I could care less, but it's like it's one and the same, because you were given, our bodies are nothing more than like avatars. Our
Mm-hmm.
spirit is what controls these avatars. So it's just like the movie Avatar. The dude went into dream world and was operating in a whole nother body, and it was another world, like somewhere else. It's the same thing here with us. We just controlling ourselves, and we fortunately have the activity of our limbs for those of us that do. For the ones that have lost them, you know, people just made choices that took them down a rabbit hole that was unfortunate. But you know how to control yourself. And if you don't, learn, unlearn and relearn. Unlearn. I did a live post this morning about that, random, about unlearning and relearning bullshit that you've been festering and keeping up with all this time. And it's like, how you gonna be 31 and you still 32, 33, still doing the same thing? You riding off somebody else's check. You trying to live in somebody else's house, but then you got an opinion. I mean, everybody has one, but it's like, how you gonna have an opinion and you ain't doing shit. You ain't paying shit. You just taking constantly. This shit is annoying. But then you have the
X.
nerve to act like you want to. I mean, you are somebody, but then you want to act like you want to be somebody influential. But you out here stealing.
Out here stealing. Yeah, man. And you know, and I'm gonna close it off with this. I'm gonna read you a quote, and you probably already know who said, but for the people, I want y'all to hear this. You probably read it on social media probably at this point too. The most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. Who said that quote?
Are you asking me?
Or, I don't know, it's more to it actually.
I know who it is.
The most neglected person in America is the Black woman.
Malcolm X.
And I'm just going to leave it at that, man. So, our
And
Black
if you haven't, my bad, I mean cut you off.
Yeah.
If you haven't, go watch the Malcolm X film. Let it teach you, Black people, white people, Asian people, anybody watching this podcast, just type in Malcolm X movie and find a way to watch it. Spend time understanding exactly what's going on and why. And I understand white folks probably like, oh, it's not my problem, is it? Well, I mean, it kind of is your problem, because most of the white people that marry Black folks, you know what I'm saying, it makes it more complicated for the Black person because it's like I meet a lot of folks and they kind of feel like they can't fully be out how they want to be like that because, you know, they're confined to their relationship.
Right.
But at the same time, you still got to wake up Black every day. You're still being targeted. And now you're being doubly targeted because you're dating outside of your race. It's unfortunate. You should be able to do whatever you want, but it's one of them things, man, where it's still frowned upon. It doesn't really matter where you are anymore. It used to be that you can be in New York and all that kind of stuff, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in certain spots, right. But it's unfortunate, and then it's like black women don't even feel protected by their own men, and then I tell you another thing that's getting on my damn nerves is what's all this men versus women shit? Why are we in competition with each other? Like, what's the point? What's the point of that? Like, I get that some men don't know to take out the trash. Like, sometimes I feel it taking it out too, but 85% of the time, 95% of the time, I'm taking it out. Or I open the door for my girl, or I might not always open the car door for her and stuff like that because we both hop out and go do what we got to go do. Right. But it's like, y'all got to start taking care of each other, man. But first, mostly take care of yourself. And for the men out there that don't understand how to be a man, start researching it. Or how about you just watch one of your OGs and just let go of your ego and just take care of shit. Stop listening to all these rap songs telling y'all, you know what I'm saying, the shit that just tell. Like, it's the difference. Knowing the difference between fable and truth is important because a lot of these people are just they writing stories. Some of the stuff they've been through, some of the stuff they still are living. But you also need to look at the age group that they're trying to promote their music to, like target audience. It's like you 41 listening to who's somebody that's, we'll say the baby. You 41 listening to this dude and you out here trying to live like him. And he's actually living his life for the most part, but it's like, what is it doing for you? It's not even serving you, bruh. Not because you're 41, just because you're supposed to be trying to be a man and handle your business. Like a real man gonna do everything he's supposed to do. He gonna show up when he's supposed to. He gonna come to the basketball games, to the football games. He gonna be there. Wifey called, he was already halfway there because he probably had a feeling something was wrong. He'd be like, I'm already here. What's going on this time? Like, you just step in and step up. It's too many little boys out here running away from responsibility. Just handle your shit. That shit is it's unfortunate. Like, it seems like it's getting better because more people are addressing it. But when I see those stupid arguments and stuff like that, it feels like it's getting worse.
Yeah, it's everywhere on there on social media, man, with the men versus women shit. Like it's really like it just like the whole dark skin versus light skin shit.
Oh yeah, that's colorism. That's Willie Lynch. Black. You familiar with Willie Lynch, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ain't different than that shit. Like, right. I got partners that get into that, dark skinned friends or whatever, and they be like, they'll send me little memes and shit where it'll say, this is how light skinned dude take a shower, and it's like Prince. Like, Prince is the cover of Prince's album when he's like in the bathtub, like, oh. Yeah. Like, they be like, this is how you take a bath. And I'd be like, man, don't even send me that shit no more, bro. Shit ain't funny. Like, cause they be like, oh, you being emotional. No, it's colorism. Like, stop perpetuating the problem that I was like, we have enough problems as a people as is. I don't need you to send me more of that crap. Same thing with a little text group, is a group of us, brothers, and they was, sending girls and stuff. And I'm like, that's cool or whatever. I was there. I did it. I'm not about to sit here and act like I hadn't tried, sent stuff and wild stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you grow out of that shit at some point because, you trying to progress. And then, they kind of still there with it. But then they want to criticize me because I was speaking against the BS. They're like, oh, don't nobody want to hear that. Don't nobody want to hear that. I'm just like, there's a reason why everybody out here got AIDS and stuff, because y'all out here having sex with everybody and then going back to your girl thinking that ain't going to come back on you. That's karma. You building it. And then you wonder why your relationship is in turmoil. Please, bro. Like, y'all just miss me with that shit. Like, it's hard for me to have sympathy for people that do dirt all the time and then expect to have a reward at the end of the day. It's like, how you gonna have a reward if you been out here bullshitting? You ain't been shooting in the gym. You've been taking tummy tea that you saw on Instagram, and it's like, oh, I lost 30 pounds. Now you may have, if you worked out in conjunction with it, you put the work in for sure. It'll come to fruition for you to be straight. But you got to put the work in, man. Stop lying to yourself.
All facts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. It's again, social media, man. It tells you you try to, because you see all these people live a certain way on social media, and they
only showing you what they want to see.
I'm about to say they're showing you an illusion of what they you don't know. They're showing you stuff that they want you to see, basically, like you
Yeah.
said. And
Yeah.
that's not real life. It's not. It's
No,
because
ain't nothing but a lie, bruh.
yeah, and it's not real life. They got problems. They got shit just like It's just they just have this illustration of the perfect life on there, and it's not the case. And you don't be so gullible and think that it's what you see is what it is 24/7. That's just scripted in a way.
Right. Absolutely. No arguments.
Have you heard about I saw how we both fuck with space, right? How we both
Yeah.
like have an infatuation with space.
Hard.
I was reading an article the other day, and they were saying that they saw signs of life on Venus, planet Venus. What do you think about that? Have you heard anything about that?
Haven't heard anything about it. Doesn't surprise me because there are other life form. There are other life forms outside of here because there are so many spiritual forces that are here among us, extraterrestrials as well. So
Yeah.
if you have animals, you have aliens. It's that simple to me. But it makes me wonder what kind of life it would be. What exactly did you find that was it more hard nosed stuff, or was it a rover that was on the planet that captured some images, or
I don't think it captured any images. I think it was kind of like one of those, the satellite, that was, one of the satellites that was orbiting.
Yeah.
There's so happened to like capture like I guess some type of life form. It didn't go into specifics of like what type of life form. For all we know, it could be plants. We don't know. But I just thought it was interesting because Venus is closer to the sun, so technically it's a hotter planet than Earth. It's growing up. I believe Venus was always referred to the twin of Earth because it's a twin planet of Earth. Essentially.
they have the same stuff?
Yeah. It's I think nearly the same size. If you look at you picture of the solar system and whatnot, it kind of resembles Earth in a way.
It's
They've
like
always been.
blue.
Yeah. It's like it kind of resembles Earth. I mean,
You never
it
know.
looks like it is.
Venus Slick might be Miller's planet. It's just a planet full of waves.
Remember that planet though was in a whole completely different galaxy though. You remember they went through went through the black hole or that shit. So it was in a whole completely different galaxy and universe. So shit ain't no telling what type of planets are out there. But who knows, man? I mean, really Venus is not really much. It's not really talked about. We think of the solar system, you don't really think of Venus. You always usually, of course, you think of Earth, but you think of like Mars and
Jupiter,
Pluto, and shit like that, or Jupiter. So
I
Venus
think
is not
about
really
Jupiter and the red storm. That's been for years. It never ended, apparently.
So I don't know. I hopefully that'll be something that they look more into because I'm interested because Venus has the greenhouse effect, I think. And to all the scientists that's listening, I'm not trying to be sciencey here, but from my understanding is it's supposed to be like some type of heat waves or something like that that's drastic more than Earth because it's closer to the sun. It's right behind Mercury, of course, so it's going to be naturally a hotter planet. So I would just like to know what kind of life form. What's that, bro?
I said it's probably super hot.
Yeah. So that goes back to me saying, I wonder what type of like life form is like there, what's surviving there, because that's gotta be a fucking hot ass planet,
Straight up.
But yeah, I just thought, I know it was random, but I just thought I would. I didn't know if you heard or anything like that. It was just something that I scrolled across. It was like something from NASA that I seen.
Also, speaking of NASA, it was another article that I read about them testing the boosters for the new Space X or whatever ship that is supposed to travel to Mars. They tested out the boosters about a month and a half ago in Utah, and it was a lot of power. Like looking at it doing its thing, they put it like flat on the ground and just when it's just going to show like how much thrust that it would be. And it's interesting checking it out, but I think exactly like the movies told us 3 or 4 years ago and all the years before, we have to fly to the moon and then take off from the moon and go to Mars. Like we can't just leave from here and go straight to Mars, I don't think.
Okay. I never knew that.
That's what that's my understanding. But it's my belief that we are already doing stuff on the moon now. Like I feel like there are people there that are operating stuff and creating shit. There's this book. I haven't read it. I can't even get my hands on it. I think it's like a Sega book. It's called The Eckmaster or something like that. Eckmaster. And it talked of a virus that's similar to coronavirus, but like way worse. And it comes from the moon. And apparently someone from the moon is supposed to bring this virus back here. And the only way to kill the virus is to kill the person. Like there's no way around it because we don't have anything inhabitable here to create a vaccine to kill it effectively. And so I'm not really sure how true that is, but that's one of those things that I definitely believe because humans are ignorant enough to think they can just go anywhere, especially Americans. Like they think they can just go anywhere, do anything, is ours now type stuff. Right. And that type of elitist attitude is what I hate being a part of. I hate being associated with that kind of chauvinism. Because that's not me. Like whenever putting them and all them folk over and or wherever be wanting to, bomb us and stuff like that, I'm like, man, not me. I ain't part of that mess. I ain't part of that mess.
Yeah, like when motherfucking Trump was wilding earlier this year, bombing that other country or whatever and killed that leader, and then he posted that picture of the American.
Oh yeah, Soleimani.
Yeah, I was like, hey, bro, we ain't had shit to do with that. When
he killed him at random, it took me by surprise. I was just like when I saw it, I was running and I finished my run and I was like, we looked at it and I was like, fuck, like why? And my thing is, I understand he's a warlord and stuff like that, but they no different than the commander-in-chief being one.
Right.
And so I'm like, what if they just did that to him? Then what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what would that mean? I mean, what would that mean for us? And the crazy part is nobody's ever had the balls enough to do that. And I'm just like, boy, like the Battle of LA type shit, that movie.
Yeah.
I believe stuff like that could happen here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't take it for granted that we happen to be living in a society. It's just like weird, bro. It's like they got us on this. They have people so brainwashed, having them doing regular things, trying to keep everybody calm, but they lying.
Right.
Because they don't want people to be like, panicking and stuff. And I'm just like, man, y'all out here going to the clubs and stuff and like trying to be at the grocery stores. And it's like we all out here in masks now because folks don't know how to wash their hands. They don't know how to not eat spiders and crap or wherever it comes from. Like, the wet market is where they said it came from to begin with, but I don't even know how true that is anymore now. It's like everything is such a fairy tale. It's all a lie, bro. It's like everything. It's like what is the truth? Like, can I get that with a side of fries? Because I'm sick of eating this imitation stuff.
Yeah, man. It's like you said, it's so much that is likely what's going on, and they're not even, like you said, they have everyone like brainwashed as to like doing regular things, and
right.
behind the scenes, it's like shit. It's what you see in the movies. What's going on.
That's it.
So it's unbelievable, man. It's like the stuff like with like you said, people eating I think it came from. I don't even know how accurate it was, like from bats or something like that. That's where.
Yeah, that was the original story.
Yeah, that was the original thing. Shit. For a minute, when this first started, hell, I thought the leader that he killed, hell, I thought this was just a retaliation for when he did that.
Yeah,
I thought this.
I felt that way too because
I really.
Yep.
Because it seemed like the timing. Because I haven't really heard about it affecting like the Middle East like that. You know what I mean? Like
Africa, they don't even have cases for real. Like, well, according to, they said in some places they have like 1 or 2 cases and stuff like that, and that's natural because it's an upper respiratory disease or something like that. It's like, do you not realize how many people have upper respiratory infections like all the time?
Right.
And so it is unfortunate that people have died as a result of that. But a lot of those people that died, like I'm going off layman's terms here. I've only done so much research because I just been slacking or whatever. But their immune systems are not as strong. So like if your immune system is not strong, then you of course you would meet your demise. But like for people who out here trying to keep it together, you keeping it together, you washing your hands, you're not touching on everything, you sanitizing everything to the best of your ability, you staying out the way. And then some people, even those people, some of those folks end up getting it. But now you see how they've normalized it now. Like now they're kind of like slowly they're doing it again. Like they're slowly dissipating it out. Like it's something that's definitely happening and going on. But we got NBA games on TV, bro. In a gym that ain't nobody at. We got wrestling programming in an arena that ain't nobody at, except for the people that's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
What else? WNBA is happening, but it's barely getting covered. I mean, like if you thought the WNBA wasn't getting covered before, I be seeing highlights. I'm like, I didn't even know they was playing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
hell, I want to say I want to say they're playing for the championship or something right now, or hell, it might even already ended. You know, anybody that listen to us that follow the WNBA, let us know because
sure.
we're being sincere. We're not even trying to be funny because I know it's a recurring joke about the WNBA getting, nobody really cares or watches their games or anything like that. But it's not even like that here. We being serious. We don't even it's not even being covered.
Barely.
I think I even want to say they are playing. They're in a bubble too. But they're somewhere else.
They are. Now we don't even really know where they're at. Like we know that the NBA is in Orlando and they've been there since whenever the end of August or something like that.
Was it July? No.
Yeah, July the 31st or something like that.
It's been a couple of months.
Yeah, it's only been like a 2 year. So, and then most teams got like the 8 team playing. And after the 8 games, they had decided who was gonna be like the 8th game or whatever was gonna decide who got the seedings or whatever. So like a lot of the stuff that's going on now, to me personally, is kind of like it's kind of null and void because it's like, what are you playing for? But it's what it is. You know, they still on a quest for a championship, and people are like, oh, that was a good game, and I'm just like, shut up. I'm just like, I don't want to hear that shit. Like I'd be like, yeah, it was a good game that nobody was at. Like, yeah, it was great. It's like it was no different than a pickup game at the Y. Like what they're doing on TV, I could go down the street and watch it, but it's just not LeBron. It's just Shabron and somebody else.
Shabron.
Did you see the preview for the new Batman?
I did.
What you think?
I think it's going to be amazing. I've been saying for the longest, Robert Pattinson is going to pull off being Batman, being Bruce Wayne. He's been so underrated. I know most people still see him as Edward Cullen from Twilight, and that's unfortunate because he has done much, much, much better things since his Twilight days. I mean, his movies are
years now since that series.
Yeah. He do like a lot of. He's not going to be your mainstream guy. Like I think Batman and then Tenet recently is about as mainstream that he's been the last few years.
Oh, he's in Tenet? He's in Tenet? The new Batman?
Yeah, he's in Tenet. Yeah, he's actually the second leading character or whatever. But
now, have you seen Tenet yet?
I have.
You have?
I have.
You went to the theater or you bought it?
I went to the theater.
Okay, so walk us through that process.
All right. So, I mean, I tried it out. It was just me, of course, because, I was the only one in my household that wanted to see it. I've been wanting to see Tenet. For everybody that don't know, I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan. I've seen every one of his movies, have nearly all of them. and I've been looking forward for Tenet. I've been looking forward to Tenet for like over a year now. So and Christopher Nolan again is he made Interstellar, Dunkirk, the recent Batman trilogy. That's Christopher Nolan for everyone who doesn't know who that is. And now most recently he's done Tenet. So it was a pretty cool process, man. I kind of did my homework as far as like going back to the theater and whatnot. I went to the AMC in Franklin, and it was pretty cool. It was hardly anybody there. It was kind of surreal. It was like a ghost town.
Yeah.
And it was a Sunday afternoon at that. So, Sunday afternoons are pretty popping for a movie theater, But man, it was a ghost town in there. I literally walked in. There was a couple people at the concessions. I got me a couple things. They do it. They actually are well trained there. Like literally, everything was contactless. I got my own cup, made my own drink. The only thing they did was hand me my nachos, which was already in a disposable cup. They have like plexiglass everywhere, so you literally you really can't make contact with anyone. You can't get your own refills because they don't want everybody's like germs and all of that because it's a kiosk. So it's pretty well. It's about as safe as it possibly can be, and they also when you're reserving your tickets, they automatically block it off. So if you get a seat like with you and your party, whether it's like 1, 2, or 4 people, they won't allow anybody to buy seats near you. So you're kind of like got your own area. So they don't have many people in capacity in the theaters. So you're very well spaced out. They want you to wear your mask while you're watching the theater. So it's pretty. I mean, again, it's about as safe as it going to be. Am I saying go rush out to the theaters? No, but my fear is not really there with that because I've been maintaining for a long time. I literally just walked in and didn't even interact with anybody or even was near anyone. But I don't have a fear about that, so I'm not telling y'all should go back. But but if you do, it's about as safe as it could possibly be. But I love Tenet. I love Tenet. It was confusing as hell. I definitely I would probably put it as a masterpiece on my second viewing. It's recommended to see it at least twice because it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. It's basically a Christopher Nolan love story because it has elements from every movie that he's made and whatnot. So you should definitely go see it. And Robert Pattinson, he was really good in there. John David Washington, who is Denzel Washington's son, you probably seen him on the show Ballers, and he was recently in Black Klansman. He was the main guy. Ron Starr was in Black Klansman, so I actually enjoyed that movie too. So I enjoyed Tenet. It was cool because going to the movies is what I do, so it was kind of cool to kind of do something that I didn't think I was gonna ever do for. Definitely not this year, but I did it, and it was a nice experience. So I don't know when I would go back to the movies because really everything is getting pushed back. I mean, you got some theaters that's actually playing like very old shit, like theater that's like walking distance from my house. They're playing fucking Back to the Future, so. Like stuff like that because there's not any blockbusters out. Tenet is the only major blockbuster that made the risk and put their movie out. Everything has been, getting delayed or pushed back, whatever, like next year. So I think the next major movie that's supposed to come out is Wonder Woman, and that's in October or something, if it hasn't been pushed back.
So what do you feel next year is going to look like?
As far as like, what do you mean as far as look like? As far as movies or as far as like, what do you mean?
About life in general.
General? To be honest, man, I don't know how much different it's going to, be, because it's not like this shit got to own it all switch. It's not like it's gonna be like, it's 2021 now. Oh, everything back to normal. It's not going to quite work that way. I think we're still going to be living in the same capacity that we are now. Um, it's just that people are going to, take more risk and try to get back to normalcy, but it's not going to ever be normal. At least not the way that we remember and know it as. So I know a lot of people are wanting 2020 to end, rightfully so. I mean, I can understand why, but I don't want to just put all our hopes into 2021 thinking it's going to be 90-day difference. I just think we're going to be able to. I think 2021 is when everyone is going to accept and start to cope with whatever is going on around us and stop thinking it's just going to end. I think that's what 2021 is going to be about, and whether that's the first part of it or the end of 2021, but I think it's going to be a lot of people just coming to realization like, hey, this is not going to, it's not going to be what it was pre 2020, so.
Yeah, I was doing a shoot earlier today, and the attorney was saying they're probably going to have a vaccine as soon as January 2021. And so he went around the room just, for shits and giggles, asking us did we plan on taking. I mean, well, they ain't asking me, but they were talking amongst themselves. They was like, "You think you're gonna take it?" He was like, "Oh, for sure." He was like, "Yeah, I want to go ahead and get that out of the way and be good to go." And the old man in the room was like, he's like, "Yeah, I'm old, so they probably won't give it to me because I'm not one of the people that's further contributing or something like that." And it was sad hearing him say that, but at the same time, like, you don't need to take that shit. I feel like that's the shit that's gonna have people growing a third leg. And
I'm about to say that might put you over. Hell, taking that shit. I'm just being for real, yeah, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's just I don't plan on taking that shit. It's
Hell no. Yeah. It's too soon. It takes like 8 to 10 years to develop a vaccine.
Yeah. And
they're gonna do it in 7 months.
Yeah, I'm about to say they're trying to rush it, and I don't know what they're gonna do. Like I guess they're gonna get like, volunteers for human trials, I'm guessing, but
right.
I just can't be one of them, man.
That ain't the move.
It ain't. It's not, man. The only thing that you can do is just continue to, try to social distance in any way that you can. As far as I'm not saying be extreme with it, but just know your surroundings. Don't, just make sure you're protected. You're wearing your mask out. I know it's not.
You had to wear your mask the whole time you was in tenant. Did you have to wear your mask the whole time you were in tenant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you're not gonna wear it if you like drinking or you're eating and shit. You gonna have to take it off, but it's preferred that when you're not eating or drinking, that you have your mask on while you're watching it. So, right. Whether you do that or not, that's that's ultimately up to you. But it was only like a handful of people in the theater, and then and I was like the last one that walked in there. So when I walked in, everybody had their mask on. And when I kind of looked around at some point, not to look for masks, but just kind of like, because I was in a IMAX theater, so the sound was kind of like, it's a very loud movie. At that, if you do see it, you need to definitely see it in IMAX. You might as well just go out because that's what it's made to be seen on, or whatever large format that's in your area. See it on that. But yeah, I was just looking around. I just seen people with their mask on and shit. But again, they did a good job where you can't buy a seat next to somebody that you're not with. So, but I mean, unfortunately, man, I think the theaters are talking about closing again. Not because of the pandemic itself, but because they can't afford to keep it running. All of these major. Yeah, man, it's very unfortunate, and because theaters are near and dear to me. I never will convert to the streaming to the video on demand preference, because you just can't get that same experience at home that you can at a theater. Like I couldn't imagine watching Tenet for the very first time at my house because it's not made to be watched like that.
Nah, that would hurt my feelings.
Yeah, like movies like that, movies like Gravity, movies like Interstellar, they're not made. Granted, yes, you can watch them at home
Yeah,
now. Now that you've had
you
that
can
experience,
build up a sound system thing to make it happen. But
yeah,
some things are just meant for the experience, like you said.
yeah, yeah, and that's what the movies are, you know. And if you were an avid moviegoer like you and I are, and love
Right.
the movies,
Right.
you're not going to get that same satisfaction on watching stuff at home
At all.
at all. And because you go there for the experience,
Yeah,
you could.
it's just flat out not going to be the same thing.
It's not. But yeah, I just was reading, and now I don't know as far as like the AMC and the Regals of the world. I don't know like how much of the theaters, but because technically the markets for LA and New York, which is the major markets in the US that draws the most money,
Mm-hmm.
those markets are closed. So this entire time they're talking about how Tenet kind of flopped with money, but
Yeah, can't nobody watch it.
right, can nobody watch it? No, everybody is making this money overseas because overseas everybody got their shit together. So they're kind of like living normal over there. But here, nobody can watch it.
We still trying to go to football games over here, bro.
Yeah. Speaking of football, I got to announce, yes, I had to wear my shit. Yes, if you don't know me,
Don't turn up.
Damn it, you got to see this. Gator all day. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shout out to last week we had Gator Bait on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shout out to Gator.
I think he's an Auburn fan, but
yeah,
it still ain't Alabama, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Who are you? What are you looking to see from the Florida Gators this year?
Oh man, it's playoffs for me, bro.
Is this the year for y'all's comeback?
I think so, man. The schedule is aligning that way, bro. It's aligning that way. It's we have like before they had to revise it, I think the hardest team that we had on our schedule was basically Georgia. Because we play LSU every year, but LSU just lost too much. They got a lot of talent, but they just lost too much. They lost too much last year. Half their coaching staff is gone. Burrow is gone. Their running back is gone. They're deep. Like it's just they lost too much. Their best wide receiver opted out this year.
Yeah,
I just don't. I see them winning games, but I don't see them being nearly what the team that they were. I mean, Alabama is Alabama. I'm not sold on Auburn. I'm actually got Auburn on upset alert this week. They got Kentucky, and Kentucky's one of those.
Pick'em?
What's that?
Do you play college pick'em week to week?
I don't, man. I should because I like to. It'll be a kind of weird year to play because it's so much that's gonna factor in this year. It's gonna. I know it's gonna be teams affected with because it's already been games that have been canceled because of outbreaks on universities and stuff like that. But
it's gonna keep happening. Because people won't sit down, they all going to parties and shit.
Yeah. But the University of Florida itself, they've only have 3 positive tests the last go around. That school is like known for like medical and shit though, so I'm not surprised. And then I mean, it's just gonna be hard. I mean, it's because you telling like 19, 20-year-old kids they can't slap some cheeks, because they're gonna definitely be trying to slap some cheeks. So
they're doing it right now as we speak.
Yeah, you're not about to tell no 19 or 20-year-old, especially male football player that he ain't gonna slap no cheeks. So just be safe. But yeah, I have Florida. I have Florida at least going 9-1. 9-1 or 10-0.
Is it a 10-week season this year?
Yeah, it's 10 week. Well, I wouldn't say exactly 10 weeks. It's 10 games, so they're all conference.
Okay.
So it's none of the bullshit. So none of the tune-up games. None of this conference only. Like we opened up this week against Ole Miss,
and I think that's the way that it should be.
A lot of people are advocating for it because I mean, the only really the tune-up games is just really them just a glorified practice, and it's a way to keep smaller schools' athletic departments up and running because they get paid
they get
like
paid
millions to go get their ass kicked. Yeah. So like teams that aren't been able to collect those checks this year, they hurting, man, because that's how they fund the entire athletic department. So you got teams that may not even continue to have programs, or schools continue to have programs because they're not able to make any money. Because you got to think about the conferences they are not playing. I know recently the Big Ten is just announced recently that they're going to be playing
October the 23rd and 24th.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed, but I wasn't surprised.
And then the Pac-12 just announced today that they're going to be playing in November. So,
it's like the end of the season.
Right. What's the point? And it's because I think the Big Ten is like 8 games now, and then the Pac-12 is only going to play like 6 or 7. So, I don't know, but it's
you have a lot to follow.
odd year.
I'm 2-0 in fantasy football, though.
Oh, shout out to the fantasy. I can't do it this year though, but I will serve as your consultant if you have any questions. That'd be my.
I should have messaged you today on some moves I made, but I just went on and made them because I felt like it was what was best.
Oh, you got it. You got it.
Let go of I had the Patriots as my defense, but I let go of them as a defense because they ain't really been showing me nothing. And then on top of that, they lost half their defense last year. I didn't realize that. Like, I went and looked up articles on it. It was like, can the Patriots overcome such a loss? And I was like, what did they lose? And it was like, he lost that person.
Oh yeah, because a lot of their players opted out.
Right. They want to live.
Yeah, a lot of their players opted out.
They still making it happen, though.
Say what now?
They still winning, barely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I mean, Cam is gonna do his thing.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. Like, everybody's surprised at how well he's doing. I'm like, I'm not. Like, he's the same.
He got a
same player.
He just got this time.
Like when you injured, hell, when you have like shoulder and shit, like you're not gonna be the same.
Can't throw.
You can't really run the way you want to. So.
And then if you do, you risk it off. They coming for the shoulder.
Yeah. So that's healed now. So like, why are you surprised? He's still young. He's still only 31.
Right.
He's our age.
He's our age.
Why are you surprised? And now you pretty much matched him with like one of the best coaches they ever coached. So
they gave him a 1-year, $1.3 million deal or something like that.
Yeah,
they feel like a prove yourself contract.
That's what you should have known when he said it's not about the money. I don't care about the money. It's about the respect. That's when you should have known he was serious. Because most NFL players about their money. They're not. It's some players that will that will sit until they can get a deal done. Straight up. There's some players that will hold out.
Think about that experience that he's getting playing under Belichick as well.
Yeah.
Not for free, but it's like everything that he's learning from those quarterback coaches on that level is majorly different from Carolina.
Yeah. Because, as much as you would hate to say it, the Patriots is a winning organization. So they surrounded themselves with being, of doing that. If, like, this is what they do. So you going to Carolina, they're not accustomed to that. I don't even think they ever won a Super Bowl in Carolina. I think they had like a couple of appearances, but I don't think they ever won. So
nah,
they shuffle coaches like it's nothing there too. So it's not any consistency. Patriots, they have consistency. That's the difference. That's why. Yeah, that's why you haven't seen him have any type of he haven't fell off because they're going to cater their offense to him. So let's do a couple of these brain teasers.
So this is a new section of the show. You've heard of this or that. You've heard of words that come to mind, and you've heard of finish the sentence. What you have not heard of is brain twister. Give it up. Here we go. Ready for it?
I am ready, sir.
There are 3 houses. One is red, one is blue, and one is white. If the red house is to the left of the house in the middle, and the blue house is to the right to the house in the middle, where is the white house? Let me read it again.
Read that again.
All right, here we go. There are 3 houses. One is red, one is blue, and one is white. If the red house is to the left of the house in the middle, and the blue house is to the right to the house in the middle, where is the white house?
Shit, to the left? I don't know.
He said shit to the left. You ready for the answer?
Man, yeah.
The answer is it's in Washington, D.C., because it's the white house.
Man. Oh man, yeah, I definitely wouldn't have gotten that. That was good.
Oh, trust me, I didn't get it either, because when I read it, I tried it at first, and I was like, I don't know. You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
All right. You are in a cabin, and it's pitch black. You have 1 match on you. Which do you like first? The newspaper, the lamp, the candle, or the fire?
Well, shit. Well, repeat that again. One more time.
You are in a cabin, and it's pitch black. You have 1 match on you. Which do you like first? The newspaper, the lamp, the candle, or the fire?
The candle?
Ready for the answer?
Yeah.
You like the match first.
Oh shit! Oh wow! Okay,
now,
I feel.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm humble.
I'm humble. My name is Doug, and I love you. Oh no! Oh no! Oh yes! My master got me this collar. My master made this collar for me.
I can smell you.
Smell you, squirrel. Squirrel. Okay. And then here's the kicker, folks. These brain twisters are for kids. Okay?
Wow.
See how difficult, and I'm like, what kid would figure this out? But
yeah,
they out there though. Ethan probably would know him. He'd be like, the White House. I'd be like, man, hold on.
I'm about to say, let me ask Ethan one of these questions.
Tristan might even know it. The White House, man. In Washington, D.C., man. The White House.
I wish he would.
Right. I swear. He'd be like, Daddy. Like, he would hear you in the other room, Daddy. It's the White House in D.C., man. I was just up there last week.
I'm out of here.
They flew me up there, but I bought my own ticket with your money.
Damn.
I'll pay you back and be on the corner.
I'm out. You know what? Just keep that.
Right. All right. You ready for the next one?
Yes.
Who is bigger? Mr. Bigger, Mrs. Bigger, or their baby?
Shit. We're going to go ahead and say Mr. Bigger.
You give? He said, for all of us, baby.
For all of us, yeah.
The baby, because he's a little bigger. Brain twisters, goddamn.
This is some brain twisters for your ass. Yes. I am like, wow. I don't think I'm going to get any of these right.
You might get this one. A farmer has 17 sheep and all but 9 die. How many are left?
Repeat that again.
All right. A farmer has 17 sheep and all but 9 die. How many are left?
9?
Correct. That's correct. All but 9. Yeah, you got it right. Ding, ding, ding. That's it. Yes. You are, what was that? 1 for 3.
Hey, I'm pounding my chest. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That's probably going to be the only one that I get right.
Not going to argue with you. You may be right about that.
Yes. I've accepted that.
That was good, bro. That was good.
For the win.
For the win. Oh, you're actually wrong. It's 35. It's 35. What are the next 3 letters in the following sequence? So I'm going to read the whole sequence, and then I'm going to be like, what are the last 3? Here we go. J, F, M, A, M, J, J, A, ... What are those last 3?
So you said, repeat the letters again one more time.
J, F, M, A, M, J, J, A, ... Say it.
September, October, November.
Yes, that's good. You got it. The next 3 letters are S-O-N. The sequence is first. The sequence is first letter of months of the year. September, October.
Yes,
November. That's good. Very good. I told you had to think about that hard. That's good. You're 2 for 4. I think that's how many we did.
Gators. It's the Gators, man.
It's the Gators. Gator never been about that. Gator never been about that. All right.
Well, Tech, we done it again, brother. This is episode 8. This has been a good one.
Yes, you have witnessed or you have listened to episode 8, just the 2 of us. All the stuff is on the screen right now, telling you where to find us and who we are and all that kind of stuff. Can't tell you who's coming next week because they might not show up. Just kidding. We got somebody special coming next week, man. I ain't gonna say the name. I'm just gonna let you find out. Check our pages. Look for the promotional stuff that we'll post, and just stay close to us. Keep your ear to the streets.
Yeah.
Because it's coming with hot fire.
Yeah, man.
Dylon.
Definitely hit us up. Really hit us up on Twitter. We really, hit us up on Twitter. Follow us. We got, we're definitely IG based for sure. But, show us some love on Twitter, man. Again, you should have seen the handles and whatnot. In case if you didn't, it should be limit_WCP, as in Water Chronicle Podcast. And that's the same thing for our IG as well. And we have a Facebook page.
Yes.
We're active on all of those. So if you hit us up, one of us or both of us will respond. And we will interact with you.
And if it's not us, it will be our receptionist, which is also us.
It's also us. So
it's not that person, it's the marketing person, which is also us.
Also us. Yeah, we cut the middleman out, so it's all us.
We can't afford them. You know what I'm saying?
We Jerry Jones in this bitch. We the owner, GM, and the goddamn coach.
And the custodian. Right, you gotta be like, all right, boys, get on out of here. Gotta clean these bathrooms.
Wouldn't even see the field.
You remember when he said that?
Hell yeah.
Why do you say it? I'm like, where you get all this money from, Jerry? Like, where you get this bread from, bro? My daddy had it for me. He came and took it and built it and made
slaves.
I used my slaves to help me keep my field up. I had that Cortez Bryant 1 year. And now I got that Dak Prescott, that cornerback, throwing that football. You mean quarterback? Cornerback. Everything I say is right. Even when it's wrong, it's right.
And if you try to correct me, you're fired.
That's right. You'll never play another down in a Cowboys uniform, boy.
I personally see to it.
You can go play for the Redskins. You can't say that anymore. It's supposed to be the Washington football team. You can go play for the Redskins.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I guess we'll close this out. Any shout outs or anything?
Oh, yeah. Shout out to everybody who keeps waking up. I mean, everybody who falls down 7 and gets up 8. It's a tough time in the world right now. It's always kind of been a tough time for a black man or a black woman. But continue to prosper. Don't let any demon in hell slow you down, man, because the demons or whoever, should be worried every time you wake up every morning and put your feet on the floor. Every time you wake up, they should be like, oh, shit, he's up again or she's up again. So don't stop believing in yourself. If it's a dream that you've been dreaming every night or something that you can't stop thinking about every day, get up and start creating a process of how to obtain it or how to get to it. And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's real. And and shout out to all of our listeners, everybody who's been messing with us.
Yep.
From day one. Continue, because we're going to keep bringing more content. We're going to have episodes that's like this where we're talking about whatever's going on, and we're going to definitely continue to have our episodes where we have special guests as well.
Yep.
We definitely got some plans, coming, especially towards to close the year. So be on the lookout for that, and just keep supporting us, man, in any way that you can. And again, we're if you have any suggestions or feedback for us, we're all ears. We're very approachable. You can reach us virtually on any of our social media that we advertise there for you. And man. And shout out to Miss Breonna Taylor, R.I.P. Her family and whatnot. I know this wasn't I know that was very tough to hear, and very disappointing. Seeing it with your for your loved ones, but just continue to hang on. You have a lot of support. Just turn on the news. You have virtually every major city in the U.S. fighting out there for you, marching, in the name of her. So just shout out to her and R.I.P. and our condolences to all of her loved ones.
Yeah. Nothing to be. Yeah, I will leave it at that, man.
Yep.
Prayers and positive energy definitely goes to them.
Absolutely.
Well, I've been your host, T.
And this is J-A-Y.
And thank you for tuning in to another episode of Lemon Water Chronicles Podcast. It means the world to us. We don't take it lightly. And y'all have a great and positive day, night, or wherever you are. Just make it a great one.
Yes. Peace.